On your mark. Get ready. It's time to go the distance. For sports news and sports review, get ready. It's The Pitch.
Hello everyone and welcome to The Pitch. I'm your host as always, John Fox, alongside here with Mitch Sabbatelli and Mike Peps Perrone. Now, the first topic of the day, the NBA Finals. The Golden State Warriors currently up 2-0 to the Cleveland Cavaliers after winning the first 2 games at home. Now, Mitch, we'll let you take this one first. Keys to Golden State going 2-0 in the first 2 at home against the Cavs.
Well, we have to remember they were at home. But with that said, they look light years the better team of the two. LeBron James looks a little bit slower. He looks older. And Kevin Durant is not only elevating his game to LeBron's level, some, including Paul Pierce, think that he's actually the best player in the game right now. I disagree, but in this series, LeBron's been the third best player. Steph Curry and Kevin Durant have put this team on their back. Klay Thompson is nowhere to be seen offensively, but he's doing very well defensively. One big factor, too, is I thought that Tristan Thompson was going to have to, be immense on the boards. And with a team like Golden State, one thing that they do struggle with is rebounding because sometimes they're forced to go a little bit smaller. And Tristan Thompson had 4 rebounds the first game and 5 the second, respectively. And I mean, Kevin Love's doing really well. He's elevated his game since last year. 11 rebounds in the first game. But it's really the supporting cast. I think Golden State, shockingly, has had the better supporting cast. I thought Kyle Korver was going to make more of an impact.
Yeah, they've been doing nothing.
J.R.
That bench has been terrible.
But Sean Livingston's looking really good like he was last year. And Andre Iguodala, JaVale McGee. But, it remains to be seen. A lot of people think that the series is already over. It's not. They played the first 2 games at home. I do expect Cleveland to win the next game.
Last year it started off Golden State being up 2-0, and we all know how that played out.
I agree, but this is a completely different team.
All right, keys to Golden State. How Golden State won those first 2 games.
There's one key to Golden State, and that's Kevin Durant. He's arguably the second best player in the league. Could be argued for the best player in the league. You pretty much built a fantastic core from your system with Draymond, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry, and then you added in the big ticket free agent Kevin Durant. I mean, you created a super team. Those 4 guys plus Livingston, and also there was another player with 10 points. I'm trying to think of the name. No, it was Livingston, and there was someone else. But
Zaza?
No,
definitely not.
I'm trying to think who it was. But either way, they scored those six people, including 2 bench and the 4 of Green, Thompson, Curry, and Durant, all scored about 100 points combined. And, I mean, when they're going to do that, I mean, you can't stop them. I mean, Durant is the big thing. This team last year had to rely on the 3 so often.
Yeah.
When you get a guy like Durant, he can spread the entire floor for everybody. And the thing is, you got to pick your poison. Am I going to let Durant drive to the hoop and go at will and do whatever he wants, or am I going to try to stop the 3-point field goals, which Cleveland's been doing a good job at stopping the 3-point field goals. They've been holding them to pretty much on average 1 out of 3 each time. I mean, about 35% for series so far. But I mean, the thing is, it's just they cannot stop Kevin Durant. And I mean, LeBron can only do so much. He's got Irving helping him out. He's got Love helping him out. But J.R. Smith has done nothing. Him and Darren Williams have combined for 3 points between the 2 of them in 2 games. That's terrible. The only other person that's even attempting to try to help out is Richard Jefferson. He can only do so much because he's older too. I mean, you got a bunch of veterans that aren't really getting the job done. And to be honest, not really impressed with Tristan Thompson much either. He's getting out rebounded. He's been getting out rebounded by Steph Curry.
Can I interject a little bit here? I feel like the one major stat that I saw from last game is the fact that LeBron James only got to the line 5 times. That's a huge thing. LeBron's biggest strength is getting to the line.
Don't worry, going back to Cleveland, he'll be getting to the line.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Quite often.
But the fact that Golden State, whether it was at home or not, only allowing LeBron to get to the line 5 times, and they actually held LeBron, under 20% of his shots were outside. Only 20% of his shots were inside the paint, which is huge. So that means they're really getting out on him in the perimeter, making him shoot those extra three-point shots. He's settling for shots, which isn't good. I mean, the strength of the Cleveland team is to get the ball down low to LeBron, and if he gets double-teamed, then kick it out back to the three.
Yeah, the problem
or
is
let Kyrie penetrate.
they're not making any shots.
And LeBron's the one taking the shots.
Yeah.
Another thing, too, is, Cleveland, they need to play the low post game. They need to use their height to their advantage. They need to slow the game down.
Yeah,
they're trying to compete athletically with Golden State, and that's just not going to work.
They're not going to outrun them.
That's not going to work.
So overall thoughts of Cleveland's big three so far in these first two games?
I think the Cleveland's big three has really kind of showed up. I think LeBron, like Peps said,
the
can
big
only
three's
do
doing
so
their
much.
job. Everybody else is not.
The secondary players.
Kyrie Irving had a bad game last game.
And I also think
Kyrie's shooting. He only shot like 30% last. He shot like a little over 30% last game.
But he needs to do more what Steph's doing. Let LeBron be the big guy, and Steph's doing a really good job is taking that backseat role, which many were criticizing him earlier in the year that he wasn't doing.
The funny thing is, taking a backseat role, he still had a triple-double last game, which is one of 4 point guards in NBA Finals history
and that's
to
great
do that.
For people people say, oh, LeBron's fading. If you're still getting a triple-double for a game and that's your bad game, that just goes to show you how good of a player you are.
The problem is it's LeBron versus you got Durant and Curry, and then there's other people that are just better supporting players, aside from him having Irving and Love, that there's way too much depth in this Warriors team. It's a super team plus depth. That's the problem. You guys like Ian Clark stepping up, getting 10 points that last game, and then you got Livingston getting 10 points. I mean, you even have Pachulia stepping up, and he's doing good because they've been leaving him open. I mean, the problem
Ian
is
Clark
there's
was
so
that guy
many.
you were,
Ian Clark was the guy I was trying to.
Gotcha.
I just saw the name, but it's just they're outmanned. They're outmatched. They're overmatched. I mean, they're going to lose in 5. But
all right, well,
I think. But
with you having said that, next question goes to you. Golden State, what are the keys for them winning heading into Cleveland?
Just keep doing what they're doing.
Just keep doing what they're doing.
They need to keep piling. They need to put the ball in Durant's hands and have him just get to the bucket at will, and if he can't, then just dish it out to the surrounding players. They need to step up their defense like they've been playing. Durant had 5 blocks and 3 steals last game, so I mean he's been playing good, and he's been taking care of LeBron pretty well, considering obviously you can only stop him so much, but getting to the lane, he's a big force that is in the way for him. So I mean, he's the biggest key. He's the big key factor for why the Golden State Warriors are going to win. They're going to win handily. I think they could. I'll give Cleveland a game at home, but I think this one's just over.
I have 3 factors. I do believe Cleveland's going to win the next game at home, but your question was, what does Golden State have to do to keep this going? There's 3 factors. It's fast break points, it's 3-point shooting, and momentum. I think they need to really outrun Cleveland. I think they need to get a big lead early, and with that, it's going to have to be 3-point shooting. One thing that you can do to silence a crowd, and everyone loves the 2-point play. I mean, getting it down low. The 3-point really shuts up the crowd, and I think that's what plays into Golden State's hands. So beat them out in the fast break, kick it out to Curry and Clay. Clay really needs to step up in this Cleveland series. I think they need to be better 3-point shooting team and play their game. Golden State wants to be a perimeter team, and Cleveland wants to be a low post team. So if they stay in that perimeter, I think they got a good shot. I do think, with that said, Golden State wins in 6 games.
All right, moving on to the next topic, the Stanley Cup. The Pittsburgh Penguins are currently tied 2-2 with the Nashville Predators. Now, we'll start with you on this one, Mitch. Keys to the Predators coming back.
I think it was the fact that they were
down 2 games to nothing.
Down to 0-2. Their goaltending, Pekka Rinne, has been tremendous all Stanley Cup playoffs, and obviously that's their big advantage going up against Murray. Pittsburgh, the thing I've seen with Pittsburgh is the top 4 point leaders in the whole entire NHL playoffs so far have all been Pittsburgh players. Jake Gensel has been absolutely tremendous. Phil Kessel, and of course the big 2 of Sidney Crosby and Malkin are the top 4 guys right now in the playoffs. But just there's a lot of depth on Nashville. I love how PK's been able to rejuvenate that defense. Roman Josi is one of the best defensive players in the game, in my opinion. But Pekka Rinne really, down 0-2. I think it's easier to come back 0-2 in hockey than it is in basketball because the margin for error is so much smaller there.
Yeah.
And for them to come back, I think in all 4 of the games, it's been very one-sided. You know, I mean, you see games like 4-1, 5-1.
They should be up. Nashville should be up 3-1. They should have lost game 1.
Game 1, yeah. I mean,
they went off his own. They went off their own defenseman. And then Subban's goal called back.
I think the big thing is experience versus momentum. I think experience is ultimately going to outweigh momentum. You know, being tied 0-0, Pittsburgh got to the early lead. They let him creep back in. I expect Pittsburgh to rebound, and I think Jake Gensel is the X factor right now. He's been a tremendous all-playoffs.
He's won off a record pace for points in a series already.
Most goals in the playoffs so far,
general,
and Sydney's been Sydney. So in order for Nashville to keep it up, though, Pecorine has to have Tim Thomas-like stuff.
They need to keep. They need to. Here's the thing. They need to play phenomenal defense against a team like Pittsburgh. They can't let them run out in a fast break like they want to.
Yeah.
They got to stop committing stupid penalties, because these penalties, these 5-on-3s, 5-on-4s, are a big part of the reason of why Pittsburgh is tied 2-2. Otherwise, I think they would be down 3-1. I truly believe that, because I mean, they went 37 straight minutes without a shot on goal in Game 1, and they scored 5 goals on 12 shots. They had 12 shots in the entire game. They scored 5 goals. That's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unacceptable. I don't care if you're playing on the road. It's you're not used to being on the lights. But I mean, it's just. I mean, I honestly believe that Pittsburgh will eventually win the series. I think they're going to win it. I think they're going to win it in 7, because Nashville has been phenomenal at home. They've been phenomenal at home. I just don't see them losing their 3rd home game when they play it. I mean, maybe they could steal Game 7. I mean, I'm rooting for them with my heart, but my head's telling me that the Pittsburgh Penguins are going to end up winning this one in 7.
Yeah, and I also think, too, they need to create better scoring chances. I mean, the big thing
their offense has been low.
No, Nashville does as well. The big thing for Nashville is the fact that they are going up against, an inexperienced goaltender, and they need to really keep peppering shots, whether it's Forsberg, guys on the defense. Ryan Johansson needs to step up a little bit more.
They got to create rebounds.
Yeah, exactly.
They got to create rebounds, and they got to get down. They got to keep blocking shots, and they just got to keep getting in the way and just making it tough on Pittsburgh, playing more physicality.
I think Pittsburgh in 6.
Okay, well, saying what you just said, Peps, what do you think the number one key factor to the Penguins beating the Predators would have to be?
Murray.
And yeah.
It's got to be Murray in net. Because if Murray plays as well as Rene does, it's over.
Yeah.
I think they need to outshoot them.
Yeah.
If Nashville's
been outshooting them so far.
Yeah, if Nashville comes close to their amount of shots on goal, then Nashville's going to win because they're better defensively and they have better goaltending. So Pittsburgh needs to win the time on ice. I mean, puck.
They had 38 shots the other night.
They have the puck for the majority of the game. They need to have the most shots in the game, and therefore that should translate into goals. It's going to be tough against Rene, but if you keep on pummeling the puck at Rene, eventually some of those goals are going to come in. And like I've said, they have 4 studs offensively, and that's not even counting guys like Chris Kunitz.
Yeah.
So they are absolutely loaded.
All around stacked.
I think Pittsburgh's going to win in 6, like I said. But for Pittsburgh to have a chance to win, like Pep said, Murray just has to be really average and let the offense really develop and be good. But they need to kill them on shots and goal.
Don't try to do too much in net. Just play your position and just focus on where the puck is at all times and just play it accordingly. They plays a regular net, they'll win the series.
I agree.
All right, nice. Now, moving on to our final topic of the day, Major League Baseball. So, we've had 2 solid months of baseball. And our last episode, we talked about hot starts and we talked about our certain people for real. Number 1 person was Aaron Judge. Well, turns out he is for real. Hitting well into the 300s, I believe.
324 right now.
324 he has. He leads Major League Baseball with 18 home runs. Wes, you can take this one first.
Well, here's the thing.
What do you think of this start?
I think it's awesome. I mean, the thing is, already they were already Girardi was comparing him to Jeter. They were trying to say and all that, with his beginning. But I mean, the thing is, also unlike Jeter, he's 4 years older, and the thing is, it's I mean, I feel like he's going to have good years to come. He'll be in all-star games, and I mean, put the Yankees, I mean, supposedly in a rebuilding state. I mean, put him in a position to take a division down, possibly. I mean, this year even. But I mean, 25 years old. He's 6'7". He's a phenomenal outfielder. I mean, he was playing center field in his past. So I mean, for him to be playing where he is now, it's even better. It's just he's got more idea of what he's doing. He's swinging at more strikes. I mean, even towards the end of last year, I mean, his biggest issue was strikeouts, and I mean, he's been making more contact. He's been adapting to breaking pitches, and I mean, he's just been swinging a less percentage, but making more contact, and I feel like that's a huge thing for him, and a big part of the reason why the Yankees are 32-22 and 2 games up on the Red Sox right now.
Yeah, I think as far as the Yankees go first, I think they are playing really well. They're getting tremendous production out of Severino. Even CC Sabathia is having a rejuvenation here.
Brett Gardner has 13 home runs.
Guys like in that offense, Matt Holliday was a solid pickup. They have their best prospect and the second best prospect in baseball is Gleyber Torres.
Yeah,
he's
shortstop.
coming up around towards July, so they're even going to get better. Gary Sanchez got better. But as far as Aaron Judge is gone, not only is he going to beat Andrew Benintendi for the Rookie of the Year, he might have a chance to win MVP, and definitely going to break onto the scene with around 35, 40 home runs for sure. But like I said last episode, most of his power does go opposite field, and they created that Judge's corner.
Where Judge's chamber.
Now everyone gets to have their own little
overruled
ballot there, and they can all rise whenever. Their own little gavel, and they can all rise whenever he gets up. So it's a nice little gimmick, and usually the Yankees don't get to do that. But it is good. Like Peps said, for Derek Jeter of left, they needed a new face of their franchise, and I think this guy being 6'6", 270 is definitely more than capable of being that face. Yeah, he is 25, but that is still relatively young for an up-and-comer.
He could have a good 8 to 10 years in the league.
Exactly, and the Yankees like to string out their veterans for a while, so he's definitely going to be on the team for a while. I expect them to give him a pretty big contract. I think the Yankees are for real all around. I think the Red Sox are a little bit better of a team because of the pitching. David Price has looked really well, pitched really well so far. Chris Sale is probably going to win the Cy Young. Rick Porcello, you see flashes of what he did last year. He's been struggling a little bit, but I think as the year goes on, progresses like he did last year, he'll get better as the summer deepens. Palmer has pitched pretty well. Eddie Rodriguez going down is a blow. But I think both teams are the real deal, and I think it's going to be Judge carrying that team.
In a couple of years, the Yankees could be a huge force to be reckoned with.
They always are, yeah.
I mean, they will be anyway. But I mean, I could, especially with the youth that they're developing, they'll get up there and stay up there like they are now anyway. So.
All right, moving on. Let's talk Ryan Zimmerman. Mitch.
Yeah.
We'll start with you. Ryan Zimmerman is batting .374 right now, leading Major League Baseball through 2 months. He has 16 home runs and 48 RBIs. Last year, he played 105 games. Was he hurt last year?
Oh, yeah.
What was the injury?
I have no idea, but I know he was hurt. I think the big thing with Ryan Zimmerman is...
He batted .218 last year with 15. He's already surpassed last year in the first 2 months of play. He batted .218 with 15 homers and 46 RBIs. What is your take on this stuff?
I think Ryan Zimmerman, coming out of college and going up through the system, he was one of their top prospects, and he was a big top prospect when Washington was first starting as a franchise coming from Montreal. And so Zimmerman isn't any scrub. He was like their face of their franchise for the first 4 abysmal years, and then once they start getting better, Strasburg and Harper started coming along.
Was his first year like 05 or 06?
I think it was a little bit earlier than that. 04, 03, but he grew up with that whole team there during the Orlando Cabrera days. And then, now he has been injury prone. He hasn't met those expectations, but he's always been on the team. And I think the move to first base is kind of, now that he's a little bit older, kind of translated pretty well, and he didn't have the same kind of expectations. They can throw him in that middle of the lineup and have him bat underneath Bryce Harper, Daniel Murphy, and Trey Turner. So he's kind of buried in there, and obviously the RBIs are going to come with those 3 guys ahead of you. I expect a little bit of regression from him, but I think the power numbers will still be there. When I say regression, I think his average is going to go down a little bit, but I think you've seen with his swing, he's going opposite field. I think that power is still there, and the RBIs will continue. He's always been a solid player. Is he going to be MVP towards the end of the year? No, but all these players have good 2 months. Jackie Bradley 2 years ago had the best August and September out of any other player. So he happened to have his 2 months a little bit early with the April and May.
Yeah.
I think it's going to regress a little
the
bit.
Nationals have always been that team they've always been poised to get there,
Yeah.
almost like the Dodgers in a
Well,
way.
they always do
They've
get
always-
there now,
yeah,
and then
I
they
mean,
just...
But I mean, they've never
They lose to
actually. They
more
haven't.
experienced
They know
teams.
to like get to the actual like World Series.
Yeah.
They're like the,
they've always been poised to get there, but I mean, I feel like the way they've been playing ball in these first couple of months, and then the way he's hitting the ball and the way they're
They're like the LA
pitching great.
Clippers of baseball.
They're running away with the NL East
call.
already. And they're 11 and a half games up on the next team being the Mets and the Braves.
Yeah,
They're
it's a
tied. I
horrible
mean, at
division.
36 and 20, it's terrible. They're running away with it. They might as
The
well
Astros are
already
just
have
killing
it.
everybody. They're on an 11-game win streak now.
Yeah, they're torrid pace.
They have 16 or 17 losses. Like,
This could be the year that the Nationals finally get there.
all right, that'll move on to our next. Peps, we'll give this one to you. Hot start. Dallas Keuchel 9-0 with a 1.67 ERA
That's insane. I mean,
after
he's
a regression last year.
true, but the year before he also
The year
had a
before
great
he
year too.
won the Cy Young.
So,
yeah.
yeah. I mean, I think that's phenomenal. Like even the Astros a few years ago, they were an up and coming team, and now they're finally starting to come into their own. It's nice to see all these teams that were like at the very bottom,
Korea.
finally starting to just come and pick it up, which is phenomenal. I mean, 11-game winning streak. I mean, he's a phenomenal pitcher. He's in the running for another Cy Young with the way he's been pitching.
George Springer's belting out like two homers a game.
I mean,
when he hits a homer.
When you run out that lineup of George Springer, Jose Altuve, Alex Bregman, Carlos Correa, like you said, adding Carlos Beltran, like Pep said, Dallas Keuchel, 2 years removed from being a Cy Young Award winner. A lot of people have those sophomore slumps where after they have really good, successful seasons, they downgrade a little bit. Maybe that could be a Rick Porcello type thing. But Lance McCullers is right up there with strikeouts. So their strikeout numbers are off the charts. Guys like Charlie Morton from nowhere have had some success. But Keuchel and McCullers are a really good one too. But that offense is really going to carry them. And I do like the Astros. I think they're a product of a bad division, much like Washington is. But the thing is, Washington's always lost in the playoffs to more experienced teams like the Cardinals and Giants. Maybe this year, now that they are a little bit more experienced, they can get led by a Max Scherzer. I don't know is Adam even coming back or is he out for the whole year?
I'm not sure to the extent of his injury.
For the year. Losing Giolito for him hurts, but guys like Gio Gonzalez have stepped up. Tanner Roark, and I know they're getting Joe Ross back, so their pitching staff's going to be getting a little bit better. But if I had to put my money on one of those two teams to win the whole thing, I think Washington's more overall ready to go.
Okay.
Yeah, I feel like they've been poised for a run, and they're going to finally
The
be
Astros
there
are
now.
1 year away or so.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if
No,
they
I
could
wouldn't
get
either.
there, but I mean, Nationals are more poised for the run, I feel like, this year.
Yeah, that's true.
I agree with you in that one.
All right, moving on to the next hot start. We'll bring this one over to you, Mitch. Zack Cozart of the Reds, batting .348 right now. I'm pretty sure he has around 10 home runs.
It's 9.
He has 9 home runs.
yeah.
Okay. What are your thoughts on this start?
Yeah, he just hit another 2 home runs.
Yeah,
he's always been solid.
He's always like a very, very average hitter. Like 250.
Yeah, he's never been horribly bad, never been really, really good.
This is very surprising.
So this is a breakout, but I mean, his slash line's really good. His average is up there, his OBP and his slugging.
His OBP is phenomenal.
But just when you think he's about to regress, that's when he hits another 2 home runs or another couple doubles or goes through.
Maybe he's finally figured it out.
Yeah, I think a lot of that too is the fact that Cincinnati's ballparks are really easy to hit in. But that lineup's getting a little better, and hitting in front of Joey Votto helps as well. Yeah. I think he's going to coast through the rest of the year pretty good. Yeah. Maybe not at this 350 pace average, but I can see him right around the 320 mark and right around 25 home runs for sure.
He's closing in almost about 70 points off about a 500 OBP almost.
Yeah,
433 OBP.
He's been awesome.
He had 38 walks last year. He already has 30 walks this year.
He's not like a young guy either.
Like,
He's very. Well, he's been in the league for about 5 years, right?
Yeah.
5 years, good 5 solid years. Yeah.
Smart hitter, good hitter.
Yeah, and when you have Billy Hamilton, leading off too. Yeah. I mean, takes the pressure off if you steal like 28 bases in the first.
Yeah.
you got a runner in scoring position like half the time. So.
Yeah. I like the Reds. Too bad they don't have any pitching.
They're
All right.
doing too hard.
Moving on to our final hot start that I have. If you guys, we only have about like 4 minutes left.
Yeah.
So, but moving on to our final hot start, Peps will bring this one to you to close it out. Corey Dickerson of the Tampa Bay Rays. I always want to say Tampa Bay Devil Rays.
Yeah.
But right now he's batting
336.
about 330.
He's got
yeah.
13 homers.
13 homers. The 13 home runs are
RBIs.
big right now. I mean, this guy comes from the
His OBP's nearing 400 too.
thoughts on this start.
I think it's great. I think it's something that the Tampa Bay Rays need. I feel like they need something to look forward to in a tough division when they got to look up at the Red Sox, the Yankees, and everybody else. I mean, it gives them something. It gives them something to look towards for the future, at least. But it's the one positive note for them right now. Other than that, there's not really much. But it's a great hot start, and I don't know how long I really see it lasting, but. It's a good look.
Yeah, he has an uppercut swing, so therefore I think the power numbers are there to stay, but his average might dip a lot. Corey Dickerson was an up-and-comer over in Colorado Rockies, and a lot of people thought that he was going to be a really good fantasy performer because he plays in Coors Field. But the numbers were down, and I think Tampa Bay really pounced on the lack of production there and signed them to a free agent deal. He looks like a solid player. He's batting cleanup for that team. And other teams, I don't know if he would have the same kind of production, but I think he's riding off of momentum right now, and guys are getting in scoring position for him, and he's driving them in, which is good for him. But do I think he's going to be, top 5 player towards the end of the year? No, I don't.
Regress.
I think Zack Cozart has a better chance of being a really good player towards the end. Corey Dickerson, I expect him to be right around there, high 20s in home runs, but I think you can see his average dip to like 260, 270.
Yeah.
So do you guys think Dansby Swanson will win the MVP?
Dansby Swanson.
It was a joke.
No, I don't think so.
Speaking about terrible players right now, Trevor Story.
Yeah.
That's a story.
Under 200, batting under 200.
Comes out of nowhere last year, got injured. He was batting 270 with 27 homers. He's batting $190 right now with like 6 homers.
I got a question for you guys. If you guys had to pick the winner of the AL East right now, what would it be?
The winner of the AL East?
Yeah. Like, who would come in first place at the end of the regular season?
Red Sox.
You think?
I think the Red Sox will.
I don't trust their bullpen. Their bullpen's
I don't trust
I
their
like the
bullpen.
bullpen.
Craig Kimbrell is like break a record. Like
Kelly's doing well.
I just feel like they're an all-around, more composed team.
Please
than
get
the
rid
other
of Matt
teams in the
Barnes.
league.
I hate Matt Barnes.
I'm not a big Matt.
I hate
I'm not a big Keith
I absolutely.
Embry guy.
I hate Matt Barnes and Keith Embry. The thing is, Matt Barnes will come in. He'll blow that game no matter what. He'll give up the other person along with Heath Embry.
Yeah.
Heath Embry has a low ERA.
Brutal.
Heath Embry has a low ERA.
He likes to give up
because he gives up other people's runs. He comes in with like 2 outs. Yeah. Oh, I give up a 3-run. Okay, all right. Well, that's about all we have for this episode of The Pitch. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, follow us,
MySpace.
The Works, Twitter, MySpace, Pinterest. Till next week, have a good one, guys.